You must believe this one thing in order to learn anything truly valuable. All right, welcome back to the podcast. Remember to sign up to the Just Keep Learning newsletter if you haven't already. It's kind of becoming the central hub now for us to share all of the things that we're up to and having great conversations. In fact, I was just messaging back and forth with someone today talking about how to mind map the beginning of their very first book. So JKL newsletter, be sure to sign up, and on with today's show. Today we're diving into a topic that is crucial for anyone looking to achieve big dreams, and it's the belief in your ability to figure things out. Maybe you want to create a podcast, write a book, or build a business. Go figure, 3 things that I'm always working on. But perhaps you want to make some of your own clothing, start public speaking, do some poetry, or something emotional and social like meeting the love of your life. Whatever the heck it is, it all requires learning, and learning in the right sequence. Now, what do I mean by sequence? You don't want to learn too early, and you don't want to learn too late, obviously. You want to learn just in time, which is funny. It's a nickname that my grandpa used to call me. Just in time is the ability to learn based on one important belief. And that's the belief, the mindset, that everything is figure outable. It becomes just in time because you're willing to go try something, to sign up for something, to decide something, and believe that regardless of how challenging it is, you'll be able to figure it out. Now, do you specifically believe in your ability to figure things out? If you don't, then you simply will have trouble learning ahead of time. You won't be able to learn in the moment for your future, and you certainly won't be able to take action toward the ideal future because you just aren't ready to believe that you can figure it out as you go. Most learning should be proactive, but this proactive type of deep learning is tied to self-esteem. When your self-esteem is low, you'll have trouble creating a vision. You might be able to daydream mindlessly, but you won't be able to choose the actual aim and keep that moon in the window, so to speak, so that you can land amongst the stars. Maybe deep down you know that you want to achieve something greater, but you aren't able to clearly see your vision. Even if you do have that vision, you don't know what missions or action steps to take because the ability to learn skills and strategy require that you believe in yourself. Now, I'm figuring out how to draw for my book, and this is a perfect personal example of this just-in-time learning concept. Drawing was something that I loved to do as a kid, and even as an adult for like the last 20 years, I've always wanted to get better at drawing, but unless it was purely for enjoyment or hobby, then sinking time into that skill would have been a huge waste of time. Same goes for guitar, dance, basket weaving, but fast forward to today, and I'm working on my first fully published book. I know my core audience really appreciates having books with visuals in them, so I'm definitely going to have doodles in the book. Now, I could outsource these. I could hire someone to create engaging graphics that summarize my writing, and I'm certainly a big fan of paying for services like outsourcing things, figuring out the who, not how, of any project, so to speak. But in this case, it would be way less scalable and less convenient to do so. I have to explain which writing ideas to turn visual, and I have to trust that the style will vibe with the book. But more important to me, whenever I'm struck with a creative visual idea, I won't be able to make it on the spot. There would end up being a timeline of deliverables for the visuals. But what if I think of a great one a month later? I have this idea for a drawing I want to do, and all of a sudden I can't do it because I have to submit it to my artist, or do I make some of the drawings and have them make some of them? I feel like it would become a bit of a mess. Finally, I'm the creator of the book. I have zero problem with collaboration or relinquishing control. In fact, specific to this book, I have an author coach, I'm trying to get someone to work together on the cover art, and of course, I'll have editors. But as far as the visual ideas throughout, I see them a lot more like the writing itself. I want to be the one completing the writing, the designs, and the overall messages in the book. So, I knew heading into this first book draft that I wanted to take a course on drawing simple images to explain ideas. This is a side note on networking and getting to know people in the world of creator businesses and collaboration and podcasting. Janice Ozelins, a podcast guest whose episode I'll share with you soon, has a course called Explain Ideas Visually. He teaches how to visualize your ideas and turn your writing into simple, powerful graphics. So this is something that I enrolled in so that I can brush up on my own drawing skills just in time for needing them in my book. It's been something that I know I want to add to my list of skills, being better at drawing. But like I talked about with the whole concept behind just-in-time learning, if I took the course any earlier, it would have been a waste of time against other priorities in life, even if it was just taking my kids for a walk. But in this season, as I have a clearer picture of what this book will be, as I get my ideas organized, it's time right this second to learn about explaining ideas visually in a more simple way. If I waited longer, then that could be a problem too. I won't be able to get the book to the editor in time. I'll be stressed that it's not going to be done reasonably quickly. So as I organize the book into chapters and start removing material, I really need to have these visuals completed. So this had to happen now. In fact, as I'm recording this, if I look to the tabs on the left of my computer, I see a tab that says, "Hi, I'm Janice Ozelins of Explain Ideas Visually." Now, for you, when it comes to your just-in-time learning, you might be in one of three spots. You could have a solid idea of your vision, the actions you should take, and what learning you need to get there. Or you might be sitting there thinking, I have no idea what my big dream goal even is. Perhaps you maybe know the vision, but you have no idea what to learn in order to get you there. In all three of these cases, a reminder on how to improve self-esteem can help. Now, why is that? Because when our self-esteem, our self-concept improves and goes up, then we are willing to try to do something without knowing how it will work out, because we just truly believe that everything is figure-outable. So how do you improve your self-esteem as quickly as possible? Because that is an infinite game. One of the first tricks that I like to tell everyone is to find your go-to person. There's at least one person who believes in you, who supports you, and you need to be able to lean into them when times get tough. Now, that's one of my big tips. It's kind of funny to say find somebody else when it comes to improving your own self-esteem, but it actually works. They're constantly not going to be that evil devil on your shoulder. They're going to be the angel on the other shoulder, giving you little signs and signals and support to just keep going. But I have a bunch of other ideas to share here, and they come from Marie Forleo, who actually has a book on this exact topic called Everything is Figure-Outable. The first one is to simply have belief in yourself. Now, that's the top of the pyramid in this infinite game, but it also starts at the beginning because our beliefs lead to our thoughts, feelings, actions, and results. Everything starts with the belief that you can turn obstacles into opportunities as you work through whatever the goal is. And you have to be able to believe that you can achieve the things that you see other people doing, that there's not something that makes them special, that puts them on a pedestal. You could do it too. The second thing is taking action. She advocates for taking consistent, small steps towards your goals. Overcoming your fear and inertia is based in having an action board, having a very simple atomic habit that you just do every day, no matter what. Reframing your problems as opportunities is another really helpful thing, because we're going to come up to these things that could seem like dead ends. But instead of seeing them as dead ends, Picture this as like a top-down view of a hamster in a maze. I won't say a rat because we don't want to be in the rat race. Let's say a hamster in a maze, or even a kid's maze that you see on the back of a placemat at a restaurant. One of those traditional mazes you're trying to work through. You're going to come into these walls, and then with a positive outlook, you can find some other way to manage that challenge, to take a different turn and try something else by seeing it as an opportunity. And then we have progress over perfection. And this is one of the big ones that I've struggled with. I'll look at another podcast like Ali Abdaal's Deep Dive that really does like millions of dollars a year and has tons of listeners. I'll look at a lot of what they have, mind you, on a 13-person team, but I'll be a little bit jealous of it. For me, I channel that into positive energy, but it is a bit stressful realizing that my podcast is nowhere near there yet. And that's where the progress comes in. Instead of being paralyzed by perfection, I realize that these little improvements that I'm making are going to add up over time. Something else that Marie Forleo stresses is the idea of resourcefulness. Being able to find creative solutions, leveraging all of the resources that you have, not the resources that you wish you had, but figuring out what do you have at your fingertips right now. And a lot of times, especially if you haven't been believing in yourself, there are more resources than you even realize. Sure, you might not have $100,000 saved up, but you might be able to create some ability to get investments, like with something like Kickstarter. You can always seek help from others, leverage technology, and get innovative. Figure out what the solution can be as opposed to deciding that it's not going to work out. 3 last things that she mentions. One is persistence and resilience. These are the key themes throughout the entire book. She shares stories that really help you stay motivated and resilient in the face of setbacks or what seems like failures. When we look at someone who's super successful, Marie as an example even, and some people say this to me. They look at my podcast, that I'm working on a book, that I create writing online, have a lot of social media followers, and they'll think that there's something special about it or that it was easy. And the amount of times that I wanted to give up, like thousands, is normal. And I've talked to a lot of other creators, both online and offline, who share the same thing. The one thing that's so important for you to realize is that the difference is that those people, all of us, kept going. And the final 2, train your brain. Forleo talks about the importance of training your brain to be solution-oriented, using positive self-talk, visualization, and other mental health, self-care, wellness practices that will prepare you to face challenges with a proactive attitude. And finally, the last one, celebrate small wins. She emphasizes the importance of recognizing and celebrating your little achievements along the way. This is another thing, like the progress over perfection, that I really struggled with. For a lot of us, it feels like we're going to celebrate when. We'll be victorious when. Eventually, something will happen and then we'll have a reason to celebrate. But every single day, there will be moments of gratitude that you can celebrate, no matter how minor they seem. They'll boost your confidence, your self-esteem, and focusing on those little incremental baby steps will help develop that positive self-image, reinforce your beliefs, and you will look back being like, holy shit, your big dream came true.